the fire, building, residential, plumbing, mechanical, fuel gas, existing building, energy conservation, swimming pool and spa, and property maintenance codes, as well as the 2017 edition of the National Electrical Code. The public officer is authorized to hold hearings, administer oaths and affirmations, examine witnesses, and receive evidence and issue orders as the result of his findings in determining the condition of buildings that are dangerous, unfit, and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants and/or public. The procedure for the public officer is as follows. Each case will start with a report and presentation of evidence by officers representing various city departments. Today, this will primarily consist of, but is not limited to, evidence presented by Mr. Scott Elder, Neighborhood Codes Enforcement Manager for the City of Knoxville. I don't see Scott.
Alan will be presenting today in Scott's stead.
Okay.
Alan Stonerock.
Mr. Stonerock is employed by the City of Knoxville and is certified as a property maintenance and housing inspector. That is still accurate. I'm assuming credentials are the same. Following the city's report and testimony, the owner or owners and/or their legal counsel, as well as any members of the general public, will be given an opportunity to respond. The public officer has the authority to limit this time as per his discretion. Today's agenda will be modified to hear the cases of property owners present at this time and in the order signed up as you enter the hearing room. We make this accommodation to minimize any inconvenience to the owners and members of the public here today. For those actively participating in today's meeting, thank you. Your involvement and active participation is appreciated. As per legal counsel, I need to read the following notice of demolition into the record. Any person who intends to perform work on a structure that the public officer has placed an order against shall first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. For orders issued by the public officer, please be aware that just obtaining permits and starting rehabilitation of a structure does not invalidate the city's power to take corrective action, such as demolition of a dangerous structure, regardless of the amount of work performed by the owner. All orders are still in effect if the rehabilitation work has not been completed and the structure has not had all final inspections approved within the time provided by the order, or by an extension if one has been granted. Remember, if rehab is not fully complete or an extension is not in place, the structure may be demolished after the order time has expired or after any prior written extension of time has expired without any further notice given to the owner. All right, are there any questions before we start and before all participants are sworn in? Okay, all individuals testifying today will need to be sworn in. If you are testifying today, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Burke, please advise me of any individuals who arrive late and need to be sworn in mid-hearing. Okay. Well, let's dive into our agenda today. Ms. Burke, what is our first property?
2316 Sanderson Road. And we have a boarding on it as well.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll start with the accessory structure only we're talking about?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Stonerock, what evidence do we have on this?
Yes, sir. This was originally inspected on April the 4th, 2023. The accessory structure is found to be burned and heavily damaged. The accessory structure is also in a total burnout condition. For that, we'd recommend a 90-day repair demolition order.
All right. Do we have, are there any other people present to speak on this property? All right. If you could, please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, sir. I'm Julie Eisenhower. I'm a licensed attorney. My BPR number is 027777. I am a owner of Patel and Eisenhower Law Firm. We are located at 217 South Peters Road in Knoxville, 37923. I represent the executor, Christopher Walmsley, and that is in a probate case. It is docket number 85700-1 in the Chancery Court for Knox County Probate Division. I just wanted to put on the record the status of the probate. This probate, Mr. Justice, LG Justice, who was the owner of this property, he had died January 3rd, 2022. He was widowed, and he is survived by 4 children who are the beneficiaries of his estate. Letters testamentary were issued by the court to my client on February 24th, 2022. We have been working since 2023 to get a petition and agreed order with the beneficiaries asking the court to sell this property through the probate case as the estate is insolvent. As of yesterday, I have received signatures from all of the beneficiaries, and I am looking to filing that matter with the court early next week. After that is filed, we're under the court's time frame as to approval of finding the estate insolvent and therefore agreeing to bring that property in and selling it through the estate. We are working with Realtor April Blankenship of Wallace Group. And for the record, her work number is 865-966-1111. Her mobile is 865-324-3977. Again, April Blankenship. Ms. Blankenship is going to be who we will ask the court permission to list this property. We do have a prospective buyer, Pastor Mills, who runs the church that is directly behind the property. He wants to purchase the property as is, no repairs, no removal required by the estate. And he's asking for $111,000. He's aware of the probate situation, but again, everything is contingent on the court's approval.
Okay.
We are aware of the fire damage that occurred and are aware of also that an order may be put down.
Just to clarify, you're not disputing the condition of the property, you're disputing Mr. Stonock's characterization of the condition?
I do not. As representative of Mr. Walmsley and the estate, I do not. I do not object to that.
And I guess as a point of clarification, just to be clear, in terms of this codes violation we're discussing, we're talking about the accessory structure only at this property that you're requesting the repair and demo order for.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't want to jump ahead too much, but I know obviously there's a boarding request later on. I assume that's for the main building on the property? Okay.
Correct. The main structure had to have a couple of windows boarded.
Okay. Well, I guess sticking with this current agenda item, I appreciate you coming out today and providing that extra context. Is there anyone else signed up to speak on this item?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for coming out. We're going to, I do find that the structure at 2316 Sanderson Road, the accessory structure only, is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville. It is an attractive nuisance, and it is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or the public. And I order the owner to repair or demolish the structure at 2316 Sanderson Road, the accessory structure only, within 90 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed, and the city may cause the immediate repair or demolition of the building, with the cost of such corrective action being a lien and collected as provided in city code. I presume we're going to jump to the boarding on this property?
Yes, sir.
Regarding the boarding, the property was boarded on February the 23rd, 2024. For that, we are requesting the approval of the boarding charges.
Ms. Eisenhower, do you have anything further on the boarding charge for the main structure here?
Just a cost of that, just for that to be on the record.
Do we have that?
We can actually get the exact cost if you can hold just one moment.
Yes, thank you.
Is it just this one picture?
Two, those are two different windows.
Oh, I'm
That
sorry.
we secured.
My mistake.
The bill will be $192.13.
Okay. Thank you. I'll report that back. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I approve the boarding action taken by the City Public Service Department and affirm the charges related to the corrective action for the structure at 2316 Sanderson Road due to the building being an attractive nuisance and dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the community, being open and accessible to children and members of the general public. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Burke was wonderful to work with. Thank you.
Great. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Glad to hear it. All right, Ms. Burke, where does that lead us to next?
618 Hollywood Road.
All right, Mr. Stonerock, what evidence do we have on 618 Hollywood Road?
Yes, sir. It was originally inspected on October the 2nd, 2023. It was found vacant and heavily dilapidated. There is severe damage to the roof, the eaves, the porches, and the awnings. Most of the doors and the windows are broken and boarded. The building shows signs of deterioration on all facades. For that, we are recommending a 120-day repair demolition order.
All right, Ms. Burke, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this item?
We do.
Sir, if you could please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. My name is Corey Wright. I'm at 333 West Depot Avenue, apartment 305 in Knoxville, 37917. And my number is 865-269-2669.
Okay,
I'm a member of Orville Holdings, who's the owner of the property, general partner.
great. All right. What do you have to say about this this property?
Sure. Yeah, so the history on this is that we are the owners as of the 15th of March 24, which was prior to the inspection date. And this was our first notice that there had been a complaint about the property, which was not sent to us. It was sent to the prior owner. And then we've received lot cleanup notices, which we've cured within 10 days since then. I sure sent over the inspection checklist from October the 2nd. The former owner didn't disclose that he had a violation with codes, and it didn't show up in the title search. So this is sort of new to us. But I actually went to inspect, based on the inspection checklist on the 2nd of October, the property, been to the property several times. There's a clean lot there, so that lot is mowed, and there's no extra brush around. It's mowed every 10 days. The fence is in good condition. There's no brush. The building is locked and secured, and there are operational keys to the doors. The building is not open and accessible to the public. There's no means of entry if someone was prowling, unless they've committed a crime and broke into the house by breaking a window and entering. The broken windows, they're not boarded. Actually, I see that one in the back. I think there may have been some work completed between October the 2nd and today, But until March 15th, I didn't know how much had been done. So if these pictures were taken in October, there's probably been some work done since then. The roof is in good condition, although there are leaves that need to get blown off of it and small pieces of tree wood. There's no intrusion of water into the building. I was able to enter and walk around, and everything is in, well, I wouldn't want to live there, but everything's in pretty good condition. There are no vermin present, and it is not attractive to children, which I know is a focus of the ordinance. I think that a number of the inspection checklists are cosmetic. In other words, you may want us to paint the back brick there or power wash the mold off the front there. I think that is subjective. However, we do agree that this front porch actually has had some work done on it. So this is like a covering. That porch itself is on slab concrete, so there's really no maintenance to do there, and same in the back. And and then the electrical mast is off, which we can secure. So, but right now we don't have any demolition or renovation plans or plans to rent it or put people in it. However, we do want to make it safe. I assume for people who would be trespassing on the property, trying to break in, we don't want to make sure that we don't get in a situation where someone tries to break in and then gets hurt, which would be really awkward, but that's a problem for both the city and for us. So I guess I would dispute the findings and also just say, hey, we're here to work with you guys and make it safe and make it nice enough to sort of sit there for a while.
I guess another point of clarification, on the sheet, it says we were, the last inspection was July 30th. I know there was one in October of 2023, obviously, but is that accurate? And are these pictures from that July 30th inspection?
The pictures are actually from August 19th when the inspector posted the complaint on the property.
Okay.
So we were not, why was the question I have is for most things in the city, we own several properties, we would get a letter. So there was no letter mailed to the owner of record between, to my knowledge, March 15th and today. The first notice was posting on the 19th.
Do we have any clarification on that?
Yeah, sir, while we did not mail a letter on that, it's a standard policy to address a property at a certain point when it hasn't been addressed over time. The officer that did the reinspection didn't necessarily do the research, which he may or may not have, should have, to see if the property was owned by a new owner. That being said, if this order is approved, the immediate action that you would need to be anticipating is really just a plan to, you've already secured the property, as you've said, and you've already made some great efforts, which we appreciate, to clean the property and mow the grass. That being said, the more immediate issues that would need to be addressed is that the demolition of the unstable appurtenances, the awnings and the decks, they would need to be addressed fairly quickly within that order, within that time frame of 120 days. After that, we can work with you. You may request an extension if you proceed to address the issues of the decks and awnings, as I've said. At that point, if you would like to request an extension and you go ahead and start working on things, you can simply email a request to Scott Elder to request an extension on that, and we can work with you. Simply, the repair demolition order would give the city the ability to act on that if needed, if progress was not made over time.
Yeah. So I did converse with Mr. Elder on the 28th of August. First of all, if this was re-inspected before the 2nd of October, I had asked last Friday and if it was inspected on the 19th, I asked after the 19th for the inspection to be sent to me, and I got an inspection from Sherry dated on the 2nd of October. So I would also disagree with the inspection. I think some of these are a little bit much. Like some of these in here are simply, they're just not present today. So if there was an updated inspection, I'd appreciate a list of what the critical issues are, because the issues from October 2nd are overreaching in my opinion. I think there may be 2 in there that are relevant to the porch and to the mast. But generally speaking, if the city has very specific requirements against code that they want us to fix, that's fine. I agree on the making safe of the front there. Like I said, I think some work's been done since then on the side. But my issue is more around if you're conducting an inspection and you have issues, I'd like to be split between the required and the desired issues the city wants to see fixed, so that we can address the most important ones first. If that's possible.
Yes, sir. As I said, the demolition or the repair of the unstable appurtenances, the decks and the awnings would be the primary concern.
Yeah.
Past that, the city, the way codes enforcement actually works is we're based upon what is called the International Property Maintenance Code.
Yep.
So that actually details things down to the chip peeling paint and all the issues that most people would really consider minor. We can work with you on a lot of these things on this checklist. We won't necessarily simplify the checklist, but once basically the main issues are addressed, we can work with you to make this go away.
I don't want to get into a discussion with the city of Knoxville about what color the paint is in the front or the back, or
Understood.
whether it's painted or not. I can point to other unpainted houses, probably my own personal house, that could use some touch up. So I think that I'm not arguing the situation here. I'd like a immediate list that you're looking to get fixed. And I disagree with Scott on a couple of things. He says that the lot needs to have brush cut, but quite frankly, this is an old picture, so it's got a groundskeeper there. So I'm not sure. Like, if I had a more up-to-date inspection, we could have a better conversation.
Yes, sir.
Because you can imagine, from my point of view, this went to the prior owner. He ignored it. He sold it without disclosing. Listen, I have to deal with it. It's great. I don't want to work with you guys,
Yes.
but I need some direction for what's required and what's desired, because I believe the list I got on the 10th from October was a mix of required and desired. So I would disagree with that inspection on the 10th, on October the 2nd.
That's noted, yes, sir.
Okay.
So was there a notification sent to the prior owner sometime after this March 15th change of ownership?
No, the notice went out when the property was originally inspected and written up, which was in October. It went to the owner at the time, who later sold it, did not disclose it, which is unfortunate. At every inspection, if the condition has not changed, they don't necessarily do a brand new write-up every time. So if the condition is the same as it was in October, then he would let that checklist stand. So that's why there isn't necessarily a brand new checklist from July, and then when he went out and took these pictures on August the 19th.
Okay. And you're disputing some of the characterizations as far as you think there's work been done in the 2 weeks since the pictures were taken?
The grounds have been kept, but there's not been any exterior work done in the last
But
2 weeks.
as far as Mr. Stone Rock's structural issues he discussed, that's unchanged?
Hang on 1 second. I don't know that I agree that those pictures were taken on the 19th. Yeah,
I assume we have.
what I'm disagreeing with is, for example, in the last inspection I got from the city, number 11, doors exterior, all exterior doors should be in sound condition with proper locking hardware. The city found that there was no locks or hardware. I'm assuming based on this, it's kind of vague. That is easy to, I have keys and the locks operate. The roof needs to be repaired or replaced because for water intrusion. I've been inside, there's no water intrusion from the roof. So when I look at things like that and they're not true, then I assume that the inspection was deficient. So therefore, if you've re-inspected since then, you can send me a new list. That's what I'm asking for. Because if you give me an inspection where you're kind of grabbing at things that aren't true, that puts the inspection in question.
Do you guys have something else on that?
Yes, sir. I don't see a problem with doing an updated inspection. A lot of these issues may or may not go away. They'll also be aware that there may or may not be issues that are additive, depending on how it looks when the codes officer gets out there. But we can go look at that again.
I would ask the city to reset the clock, though, if you're going to provide inspection, we start over. Because I would say that this inspection is provided on the 2nd doesn't map to the way what it is today. So if you want to start the clock over and we can go give us a letter, say what we need to do, and then we can restart the process, that would be acceptable.
Mr. Bradshaw, you could reschedule this to the next hearing and allow a meeting on site for an updated
Yeah, that's
inspection and checklist.
sort of what
for
I was
them.
thinking. It sounds like that might be in order.
I will state that if you look in the picture, there is a piece of paper taped to the door. That is the complaint that was recorded on August the 16th, which he posted on August the 19th. So that dates these pictures to that date.
Is there any concern on the part of the city that leaving this for one more month would be add additional burden to the community?
I think that ideally you would make an effort to go ahead and start, fixing the unstable appurtenances, as I've already mentioned. If you could start on that right away, it would be greatly appreciated.
Sure.
That is a issue, or we wouldn't have
I
brought
can
it to
do the
this
immediate
attention to
safety
begin
thing,
with.
sure. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
All right, well, I certainly see, it's just some concerns based on the visual that I've got here, so it's absolutely something we need to address, but given some of these circumstances from this discussion, I think it would be prudent to maybe reschedule this to next month's meeting, and hopefully you guys can get together and circle up, and we can get some answer to some of these concerns and have a path moving forward.
Sure.
Do I need to put that in the form of an order or, okay. So we'll plan on having this agenda item on next month's meeting. And I look forward to hearing an update, a productive update at that time.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the record, that will be on September the 27th at 9:30 a.m. in the same location.
All right. What is, Ms. Burke, what is the next item on our agenda today?
713 Washburn Road. We have some speakers on Zoom for that.
I can go first. That's okay.
Well, if you don't mind, let's let the city present evidence first, and then we'll give the opportunity to respond.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Stone Rock, if you could proceed.
Yes, sir. This was originally inspected on June the 4th, 2024. The house was found vacant and dilapidated. There is significant damage to the roof, eaves, and siding. The electrical mast has been torn from the house. The building shows sign of deterioration on all facades. The accessory structures are dilapidated. For this, we would recommend a 90-day repair-only order.
All right, and we have someone sign up to speak via Zoom on this one. Ma'am, if you could, please, are we queued up for that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, if you could please state your name and address for the record.
Okay, this is Susan Boldman. My address is 168 Steele, Steele, Court in New Vienna, Ohio, 45159.
Okay,
Okay, I am one of the children of Clay Jones, is deceased. When he died, we went down. Our intention was to sell the house. I have siblings in Ohio, Indiana, and Wisconsin, so it was hard for all of us to get together and do anything. And matter of fact, Heather Hando, that's on here with me, I had never even met. So we have been working with the Admiral Title Office and Daniel, I just went blank, Steiner with the Adams Law Office. They are working on getting the affidavit of law together so that we can all sell this property. Our intention is to completely demolish everything on the property with the exception of one shed that is there. Someone has gone in and done extreme vandalism to this place. It was not like that. It was not in that bad of a condition when we left, other than the inside. Our dad was a hoarder. So, but the windows were not knocked out. The electrical box was not ripped off of the house. The doors were not ripped off of the shed. The whole front of one of the sheds is completely gone. But our intention is to do a complete tear down. And we would like to find out, since we all do live out of state, are we able to get a 120-day period on that? Because we want to make sure we find the reputable people to do this. With us being out of state, we don't want to hire somebody and then get taken by a fly-by-night deal.
Do you actually have a permit to do the demolition work?
Not yet. We have got one gentleman who told us that he would do the tear down for $5,500, and he would buy the permit. And then we had another gentleman say if we bought the permit, he could do it for a lot less. So we're trying to get pricing right now, but we have spoke with a real estate agent, and she told us to take the buildings down, get the lot cleared off, and she would post it for sale.
Okay. Yeah, I think the city's only requesting a repair order at this time rather than a repair demolition
Yeah.
order.
It's a complete tear down,
Okay.
believe me.
Yeah, the condition certainly is concerning.
Yes.
Okay. Is Ms. Hando signed up to speak separately or part of the same?
We're all together.
Okay. Okay.
We're all together. I've not actually been to the property, so I can't speak on behalf of the property. I'm here as a representative of the four siblings. Just here as part of the four siblings, I should say.
Okay. I guess Mr. Stonerock, our two speakers have requested 120 days with the intent to demolish a structure. I know we thought 90 would be more appropriate. Is there any objection from the city of doing 120 days?
No, sir, that would be just fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, yeah. Obviously, I think no one's disputed the condition of this property. So, I do find that the structure at 713 Washburn Road, including the accessory structures, is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. And I order the owner to repair the structure at 713 Washburn Road, including accessory structures, within 120 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said the additional structures. There's one structure there that it had been put in I do believe 2020. It's one of those Amish built buildings. He did, when they took the pictures of it, they did take a picture of that. Are they wanting that demolished as well?
It's a repair order only.
Okay.
Would you like to comment on that, Mr. Stonerock?
Correct, it is just a repair-only order at this time. If issues need to be addressed later, the city may proceed further if needed.
Okay.
Right.
Any questions that you have, Heather, that I'm not thinking of?
Just wondering, were there any citations on that structure at all?
On which structure? The Amish building?
Yes.
I'm not quite sure. You said something about that there was an inspection on 6/4 at the beginning?
The initial inspection was June 4th, 2024.
Okay. So we wouldn't have received anything then. Is that what you're saying as well? Because we all received our letters the same day, which was August 19th, and we had no idea that this damage had been done to the house. I mean, at all. So we have relatives there that were actually supposed to be going over and mowing, and instead they have not been doing that. And the one shed had the lawnmowers in it, and they're all gone. There's several things that are missing out of the house. So that I wouldn't want anyhow, because it was a boarding house. But with that being said, I do know that they've placed liens against it and fines. Can you give us the exact amount of the fines from all of this?
That may be something we have to follow up on after the meeting unless you have it right now.
I don't need it right this minute, no.
Okay.
Okay. I will say that the notice that went out in June went to the address of record, which is currently still Mr. Jones at that property. So until such time as it sells, so we weren't aware of it until it got escalated to this point, and that's when we discovered that he was deceased and notified you all in the process. I would recommend until the point that it sells, someone update that mailing address to be in care of one of you. So if notices are sent, they will go to you and you'll be able to address them. If one of you wants to email me, my email address is on the complaint. I can provide you with updated payoff information for any of the fees owed.
Okay, yes, and then we were just figuring that we would pay all of them at the sale. Can we do that? We're not familiar with Tennessee law.
That's often what happens. The title
Okay.
company that handles the sale will usually reach out to get payoffs and satisfy them during the sale.
That is wonderful. That helps us out a lot.
All right.
So
Well, great.
I have no further questions. Heather, do you?
I do not, no.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming today, and please do encourage you to reach out to Ms. Burke or Mr. Elder in the codes office if you have any further questions to follow up on this. I think that's it for this item. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. All right. I think that brings us to 2409 Jefferson. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Yes, sir. This house was originally inspected on February the 13th, 2024. The house was found vacant and dilapidated. There is significant damage to the roof, eaves, and porch. We have concerns of further damage if the roof is not repaired soon. The building shows signs of deterioration on all facades. We recommend a 90-day repair-only order.
All right. There's no one here to speak on this item. Okay. All right. Well, I do find that the structure at 2409 Jefferson Avenue is out of compliance with the codes of the city of Knoxville, an attractive nuisance, and is dangerous and injurious to the health and safety of the occupants or public. And I order the owner to repair the structure at 2409 Jefferson Avenue within 90 days. If the owner fails to take corrective action, the structure may be placarded as unfit for human habitation and vacated and closed. And I think that brings us to the end of our agenda today. All right, well, if there's nothing further, we'll adjourn this meeting at 10:12 a.m. Thank you, everyone.